Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day and this opportunity. We thank you for your grace and mercy. We thank you for always watching over your people. Lord, I thank you for the Vicksburg Warren School District, and I lift it up to you, Lord, for all those that serve in every capacity, from the custodian to the bus driver, from the teacher and administrators to the school board. Lord, I ask that you just give them wisdom to take care of the business of the Vicksburg Warren School District, that it will grow and prosper and prepare our students to go out into the world and be productive citizens. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. First item on the agenda, board members, is our adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing as none, do we have a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the agenda as typed.
Second.
With a motion, proper second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have adopted the agenda. Next item on the agenda is our approval of the minutes for our regular scheduled board meeting of September 29th, 2016. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes for September 29th, 2016?
Mr. Chairman, in the absence of the Secretary, I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion, proper second, to approve our last regular scheduled board meeting minutes of September 29th. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. We have approved minutes. Mr. Superintendent, the floor is now yours.
All right. Well, the first thing I'd like to draw attention to is we have a couple guests that are with us, but I'm going to ask Lucy DeRosset to come up to the mic and kind of give us some information about how we arrived where we are with this wonderful opportunity for Vicksburg Warren School District.
Good evening, Board. We have some special guests with us tonight, our Alderman Michael Mayfield and Willis Thompson. And about a year ago, Mr. Shealy and several of us got to go to Nashville and look at the academies of Nashville. And we went into the Health and Human Services Academy, and we saw an ambulance built into the side of the wall in the classroom. Now, after looking at the pictures further, I realized it was probably the bed of a truck that they had decorated to look like an ambulance, but it wasn't a real ambulance. But in my limited knowledge, I thought it was an ambulance. And then we started talking with Mr. Thompson because they had some needs at the city of Vicksburg for EMTs, and they decided to lower the age to be an EMT to 18 instead of 20. And they wanted to work with our public safety and law class to recruit students and train them to take that EMT class. And of course, we were super excited about that opportunity, and that's been going on for quite a while now. Mr. Derek Stamps is coming out and working with the students. But I mentioned to Mr. Thompson that, boy, we sure did wish we could one day get an ambulance. And on Monday, that ambulance will arrive. The city of Vicksburg has donated a real, live, fully stocked ambulance to the kids in the public safety and law class. And guess what? It's not built in the side of a wall. It actually runs and moves. We'll have keys. We can take it to the elementary schools and show the kids. And so I wanted to invite them up here just for a few minutes to thank them and give them an opportunity to speak to the board about that.
Well, good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
We just want to be a support to the Vicksburg Warren School District. I've been down to the Hines campus and taking a tour of the CTE program, and I just think it's awesome what our students have the opportunity to go down a career path and learn just what it is, see what's happening in those career fields and get a first hands-on experience of what's going on. And with the city, as Mr. Rosser said, we had some needs. We lowered the age from 21 to 18, and to help our EMT program. And I think we're having some success with that. And this ambulance hopefully will be a good training tool to be able to go on the ambulance. And it's more than just a truck. It's a lot of components, a lot of moving parts that are first responding with a lot of things they have to know to be able to be equipped to serve the public. And we just want to solidify our support for this school district. We understand how important education is, even to what we do, and moving this community forward. So on behalf of the board of mayor and aldermen, we're just elated that we can be a part of this endeavor.
Absolutely.
Again, I'd like to say good evening to all of you. I'm here today on a twofold issue. Number one, I'm with the Warren Central Intermediate with the P16 committee. We have several people here today that are represented. We're going to let our main man there speak to you in just a minute. But Alderman Thompson came to the board several months ago and made us aware that he wanted to look at donating an ambulance, one that we kind of had out of service. But again, it's a unit that is fully equipped, still runs well. And so when he told us what he wanted to do, believe it or not, I like to stay at my place. So when the mayor and the mayor pro tem spoke, I kind of stood back and waited till the finished product came along. And so we went down and we toured it, and we realized that it would do a lot of good for the system, because we did find out some years ago that we had to lower the age to get more younger people in, because everybody's not going to go to college, and that's just a fact. So we wanted to be sure that we did what we could do to help further what you all are trying to do with the system here. And that's how all of that came about. So we're glad that we were able to play some part in it, even though it's a small part, to foster what you all are trying to do with the Vicksburg Warren School District. So again, I thank Alderman Thompson again for leading that charge. And when this next group come up, I'll be with them and I'll stand in the background again. Thank you all.
Let me take the opportunity to thank Mr. Thompson and Mr. Mayfield for their support in our school district. The things that we're trying to change in Vicksburg are not going to be changed unless we all work together. And I am overwhelmed with the support we received from the Chamber of Commerce, our business, our civic leaders, our churches, and especially the city of Vicksburg. We're all moving Vicksburg forward together, and we appreciate everyone being on our team. Thank you.
Absolutely. And from my standpoint, I count them not just colleagues, but they're my friends. And they have been supportive through our school district for the years. And there's other things that they've contributed to that are valuable assets to us. First of all, it's the leader in me. They've supported that move, and also the Forward Next Generation Learning opportunity through the chamber. With that partnership, the city has at this point contributed $20,000 of that money, so that's pretty incredible. And again, to have people that are willing to stand beside us and grab the reins and run with us, that's an amazing relationship to have, and we really appreciate that. Our second group that I would like to invite, we have a special guest, Mr. Mike Dole. Several of you may know him. He is going to introduce our P16 Council at Warren Central Intermediate School.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Mike Dole. I am a parent at Warren Central Intermediate. I have a sixth grader there, and I'm here to represent the first P16 Council for the Vicksburg Warren School District. Our school started the P16 Community Engagement Council. It's been almost 2 months now. We've met a couple of times. Thankfully, to Ms. McGee's credit, they started this process a little early, so we've gotten rolling. And part of our job is to set up a council. And the members, I'm going to call out the names of our council. I'm the president, Mike Doyle. Our vice president of the council is Mr. Mayfield, alderman of Vicksburg. Our secretary is Ms. Ezell McDonald. Our members, some of them are here tonight: Pamela Derman, Elmira Ratliff, Cassandra Clark, Antoinette Darden, Albert McDonald, Ashley Mitchell, Ashley Gilbert, and Mr. Darrell Floyd, the vice principal of WCI. As you're aware, all schools in the state that are rated D or F are required by state law to have a P16 Community Engagement Council begun for the school. We did adopt a mission statement for our P16 Council, and I'm going to share that with the board today and with those of you who are here. The mission statement of the Warren Central Intermediate School reads, "The mission of the Warren Central Intermediate School P16 Community Engagement Council is to assist the school district in building a school that is safe and academically focused on preparing students to become college and or career ready. The council will collaborate with the Warren Central Intermediate representatives to assist with initiating policy formation." So it's our job and our hope to help the administration of the school and the district to improve Warren Central Intermediate through the next 10, 20 years. And that's our goal, is to make a world-class school that is representative of our community. We will hold our first real training session this weekend, and we look forward to doing that and working with the school board and the members of the school.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move that, based on the public support that we're receiving at Warren Central Intermediate and other schools in the district, that we commend Michael Mayfield and Willis Thompson as elected officials coming forward to support the public schools. You know, public servants depend on public support themselves, and it's good every time we can recognize when they go beyond their normal work duties to help, and I want to commend them. So I'll offer that in the form of a motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Thank you, Mr. Levisor, for that.
In the true nature of synergy, I will continue this support conversation. We held our first convening of our Ford NGL Next Steps meeting, which was incredible. We had 60 of our members of our community and much more that are involved with the process, but 60 came together, and we began to talk about who our next steps were going to involve in certain roles within that, and setting the vision and mission for that particular committee. There is a citywide master plan that's going to be created through this, and you know, as it began to unfold and we saw what took place, it truly is a situation where together we're better. It is the moment where our city comes together and says, these are the things that are important to us, and this is where we want to be. And to have that many people come in and drive a stake 5 years out in the future and say, this is what we want to become, and to listen to a guy who postponed his retirement by his own admission. He postponed his retirement to work with the best community he's ever seen. He said he's done this for 40 years and worked with thousands of people, and Vicksburg is the best place. He said it's going to be the crowning achievement of his work with Ford NGL, and he had actually already told him he was retiring, and when he met us, he said, I'm going to hang on until I'm done with this community. So that was great to hear. He saw the remarkableness of our little city. So we're excited to be moving forward with that. We've got the Chamber of Commerce is supporting that, and of course our board has been brave and made those first steps for us. But it was great to see our city begin to come together, and our county, and everybody involved. Open invitation if you want to be part of that. It is not an exclusive process, so anybody that would love to be involved, we would love to have you. Our contact person for that is going to be Christy Kilroy. She can get you to our chair, and we can get you plugged in where you need to be. I attended a couple conferences. One particular was the RTM conference in Orlando, Florida. I was able to sit in a room full of people like me, and a lot of folks are scared in places like that, but it was great to be able to look at communities who have made the decisions that we've made, but they're 5 years further in it, and look at the metrics and the success that they can put up and the transformation of those communities, the community prosperity that follows those things. And I got to meet Sir Ken Robinson. I'm a little geekish. If you follow me on Facebook, rarely post a selfie unless it's with an author, and he's one of my favorites. But it was great to be able to meet someone who can set aside to say the original design of what education was purposed to do doesn't exist anymore. And the jobs that we're creating are for are the jobs we're preparing students for don't even exist. So looking at us as an innovative district and forward thinking, it was great to be in like-minded folks and bounce ideas and get some validation of the direction that we're headed. I'm going to add one other thing, even though I didn't expect my visit at Dana Road to end up the way it did. I was invited to go look at an MDE walkthrough at Dana, and when I walked through the door, they handed me a clipboard and evaluation sheet and put me to work. But I will say it was great to be able to sit into a classroom, because that's where the real work happens. And I was so encouraged by what I saw and the techniques that were being used. And if you hadn't been by Dana lately, you really need to go see it. It's an absolutely incredible place. So that's the end of my...
That's your report?
That's my report.
Excellent. Next on our agenda will be our financial report being presented by Ms. Burke.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to follow Mr. Shealy's lead, if you guys don't mind, and give you guys a quick couple of seconds update about my conference that I went to. First, I would like to thank the board and Mr. Shealy for allowing me the opportunity to take time off to attend the 2016 ASBO conference as one of the Emerging School Business Leaders scholarship recipients. Over those 5 days at this conference, I was able to experience one-on-one mentoring with some of the top performers in our field, which is just dynamic in itself. There were 18 of us international-wide, and to have that one-on-one time with somebody that's been in the field 30 years and have gone to extreme heights in our field is something I'll always remember. One of the topics that I had an opportunity to represent Vicksburg Warren on is a topic that was submitted to our leadership development manager, and he chose a topic and we had to speak on it. So I pretty much led the discussion, and that discussion was communication and management for effective employee reviews. And because of the things that we've started to implement here in Vicksburg with our employee reviews, several school districts from that group has decided to take that back, to start that as a foundation for how they're going to establish their employee reviews in communication with employees. In addition to me developing and giving feedback, I was able to get some feedback to help enhance our process. So that's something that I'm looking forward to implementing and see how well it improves our process for the upcoming year. I will say the classes were very rigorous, 5 full days of continuous, but I left that conference renewed, refreshed, and really excited to be in the field that I'm in. You know, the whole conference was geared around understanding why we do the job we do, and understanding everybody influences a child, you know, from top down. And that was really exciting to see people, how passionate they are about the kids in the schools. One resource that I will say, and then I'll move on, that I got from this conference that we've actually put in place and used since I've been back is there was an element on joining cooperatives. And we joined one of the cooperatives while I was there. And because of some of the vendors that we already use are part of that cooperative, just by mentioning that we are a part of that cooperative, we are able to get lower costs and automatic discounts. So I'm excited that we've been able to use it and actually already been able to see the benefit from that. So, moving on to our financial reports. The first thing I'll present to you in our financial reports is the final bank statements for June through September 2016. You were presented these bank statements last month, but as I said in my, Dorothy presented to you, they were not final because we had not closed our year. So these are the final statements. We've closed 2016, and so the numbers that you have on these bank statements are final, and we are reconciled and current. Moving on to the statement of receipts and expenditure by fund, and as well as the general fund status report. We show month-to-date and year-to-date view of revenues and expenditures. The expenditure, the statement of revenues and receipts, if you look at that, you'll see that our year-to-date receipts is 17% of district maintenance, as well as 17% of our total budgeted revenue. Moving to the statement of expenditure, we show 6% of our district maintenance budget, and 3% of our total district budget has been spent as of September 16th. I will caveat that by saying the numbers that you see this month are lower than the numbers you saw last month. And going through the two different reports, I noticed that because the two fiscal years were open, our system was pulling some of our encumbrances doubled. And so I went and we worked with our financial system person and corrected. So what you see now and what you will see going forward is our actual percentage of revenue to budget as well as expenditure to budget percentage. And these are true numbers that we will be using going forward. Moving on to our Avalon tax collection. As of October 2016, we've collected 6.37 of our $30.66 million that we requested. Now that breaks into $30.47 million in operations and $187,500 in debt services. If you look at the chart will show you the trending of how we're collecting from year to year. Okay. Moving on to our casino revenue. For the month of September, you will see that we've received $57,000 for casino revenue, and our year-to-date revenue received total is approximately $105,000. Now, it's actually pretty much in line with where we were last year. Last year, we received about $105,000 total year-to-date as well. Okay. MAAP, as of September 2016, our year-to-date collections for MAAP thus far is $6.65 million, with a monthly collection of $2.35 million. And although you'll see that our monthly collections are slightly higher than it was last year, the chart will show a drop in total collections from this year to last year, and that's because our full year allocation is slightly lower. Statement of cash flow. I think this is the part y'all always get excited about.
Yes, it is.
Statement of cash flow. 2016 is officially closed. Yay. We've gotten our reports to MDE, and based on that, we closed 2016 with a $11.4 million fund balance, and 3.59 over our budgeted amount. Now, I will caveat that by saying when we closed 2014, we had to borrow $3.7 million from our 16th section reserve to cover us in our operations, as well as 2 years to cover our 7% that the state mandated had imposed upon us. Well, keeping that in mind, we are now $7.6 million better than we were back in 2014. So if we continue our present state of that target fund balance that the state imposed, we will actually close the year at $7.05 million under that 7% target. And that growth in the fund balance will continue to be the efforts that we've put in place over the past few years, and especially our focus on being more fiscally responsible. 2017 cash flow. 2017 cash flow coming into our monthly position for September 16, we're projecting to have ending cash balance that's pretty much flat. I mean, we're only a couple of months into the year, so our spending and our revenue, we've been kind of gearing up, so we're pretty flat from where we were last year. And until the board basically says that we're going to have a different target, I'm going to keep that 7% as our target because it seems to be working for us. You want to go higher, then that's something, the board would make this decision as to what our target would be. But based on that 7% target, we are showing approximately $6.9 million over that 7% target fund balance. And I'm proud to say that the cash balance that we have now is sufficient enough to carry us throughout the entire year without us having to come back to you in November or December and ask to borrow from our reserves to cover our operations for those low revenue months. And that is all.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you. Any questions?
I have just one, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I got a new ad valorem tax collection.
Yes, sir.
That we just received, and I just want to make sure on the millage is what we're looking at.
Yes, sir.
In 2016, we were showing a 50.27, and it appears that we were at 53 .58 in 2017 plus a .3, which I guess that's the
Yeah.
187. But I have two questions that I need to ask.
Yes, sir.
The 187.5, was it included in the 50.27 meals, as opposed to, I see it's broken out here to make the millage higher at 53.9?
No, sir. Prior to 2016, we had never gone before City of Vicksburg and asked to leverage any of our debt. The district had taken on all of our debt itself and through our operations. In 2016, we were advised to be fiscally responsible, we need to start leveraging some of that debt. And we took the $187 and actually went forth to request it as part of our debt. Well, what happened, instead of them breaking it out in 2016, it was all put together, and that is actually a part of that 53.58.
Okay, but did we have the debt in 2016?
Yes, sir.
So it wasn't included in the 50.27?
No, it was not.
Okay, so you know where I'm going with this?
Yes, sir.
There was a increase in the millage.
Yes, sir.
So bring that camera close to me. Remember we talked about the meals. What are meals? It's your taxes going up. Now, I know what you're gonna tell me. We didn't ask for any more than we did last year. But if we only had 50.27 2016.
No, it's 50.27 is 15, sir. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, what is
Yeah.
47.81? Am I reading it backwards?
That's 14.
Yeah, that's,
47
yeah, that's
and
14.
14.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
that's
got
14.
the numbers first and then the percentage.
So we're at 53.58,
Yes,
yes, sir.
16?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. We're at 17. So do you have a 17 chart? Because I
I'm
realized
sure
that.
Yeah, it
cut
says,
out.
yes, ma'am, it says
Yeah.
17. Okay, so we are 53.91, 53.58. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I was reading it wrong. I apologize.
No.
Okay. But it went up slightly, but not as much as we had proposed in the beginning. Thank
Yes,
you
it-
very much.
Ms. Bean,
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
That's all I have.
Any further questions?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept our financial officer's
Second.
report.
We have a motion and a proper second to accept Ms. Burke's financial report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. We have accepted her report. Thank you, Ms. Burke. Thank you for the hard work the team has been doing.
That's why she's the only one in the state of Mississippi that got the award.
There you go. Next on our agenda is our proposed consent agenda, which consists of sections F, sections G, sections H, and sections I. I have several items to pull. Currently to pull from the consent is F7, F8, F9, F10, G6, and that's it. Are there any further items board members wish to pull for discussion and remove from the proposed consent agenda? Again, that's F7, 8, 9, 10, and G6. Do we have a motion to accept the revised consent agenda? Move? Oh, to approve the revised consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the consent agenda with the adjustments.
Second.
We have a motion and proper second to approve the amended consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We have approved the consent agenda. First item for discussion is F7, which is the PITSCO Education Data Agreement for the Academy of Innovation.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you would go to, if everyone would go to page 2, on page 2, I have 2 questions, and then we can move right along. The cost that it's gonna cost us this year, or will this cost be next year on the, annual license? Or it's 2 annual licenses here, one for $99 and the other one for $995. Is that gonna be a cost this year?
Mr. Campbell, did you get, where'd he go? Oh, that's going, he's normally sitting right there. Mr. McKellar, is not here, but he did share some information with,
And my second question is, and I see where the attorney has looked over this, but under, the person designated will be, if Mr. McKellar is not there, can we get an appointed designee
that's a good,
added to that?
Yep.
Just in case, if that's,
yep,
okay?
good add.
Would that be
Do
another person at the
Do
school?
you know if those are annual costs? Okay.
So I see the total cost this year is $22,164.38. But, so next year, we're gonna pay the $995 plus 99, will we pay the 22,000 also?
No, that's equipment
No,
cost.
so that's just a one-time cost?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that,
Mr. Sturgis, you want to put in
Designee?
just make it the principal of the academy, or would you like to have the principal and maybe the superintendent as backup?
yes, sir, whoever, just to back up, just in case
I'll be
that
backup.
person is
Okay.
not
So
there.
it's principal and superintendent.
Okay. Any further questions? So currently, we're changing, your recommendation is to change that to be Mr. McKellar / Chad Shealy?
Or the superintendent.
Or the superintendent.
I mean, I hope it's always me, just for the record.
Matter of schematics.
I know,
Or
right?
just say principal of AI / superintendent,
Or,
and not put
yeah,
people.
that's right, you could do that, or put alternatively. I'm sure the superintendent probably will not want to have to deal with that on a regular basis. So
No.
I think he would be the alternate.
Yes, sir.
alternate or substitute.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay, is that your motion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second to accept the Pittsco education contract with the mentioned changes to the designee. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? It has been approved. Next item is F8,
F8?
MOU for Hines Community College.
Yes, sir. On the memorandum of understanding, just one, if you go up on the, I'm gonna say the second page since we have the first page here. Number 11, it says the term of this MOU shall commence on July 1, 2016, to be effective 26/2017. My only question is, has July 1 passed?
Yes. This came about, this actually came about from their attorneys to make sure that we had insurance on our own property.
Yes, sir.
So Briggs and he got involved in that conversation, and that's what's draft from this. Does that sound about right?
Well, that's correct, but I know his question is, should it be effective?
Today.
Is it already start today?
I mean, that's the question.
Yes, sir, because we're exercising futility here if it's already done. And
You could technically, you could predate it technically, but if you want, today's fine. I don't know
Well,
if they're
if
using
it's,
it right
as
now.
long, as long as if you're okay with it,
You can do
Mr.
it
Attorney?
today. Today's fine,
Okay.
either way. Because I don't think they've used it yet, have they?
Yes, October the 27th. They swapped spaces for our early college.
Oh, they've already, okay. I thought they were using it.
And when did
once
that
it got
start?
approved.
When day one
Day one.
August. Mhm. It was afterwards that they wanted to ensure that we had insurance on the property that
And
we
which
have
caused this
insurance
to be
on.
created.
Right, and then I got him in touch with my attorney, and they did the attorney talk, and
So you want to leave it July
We
1,
got it
or what do
rolling.
you want to do? Is it legal to leave it July 1? Since we've,
Yeah, it's legal to do it, yeah, if you want to, but if you want to make it effective today, of course, that leaves the gray area of what's been done. I didn't know they were utilizing it already. I knew they wanted to utilize it, but I thought they were just trying to set it on a calendar year.
it doesn't really matter, I guess, because there haven't been any issues arise from it, so. You have a motion, Jim, or you just have another question?
Yeah, I don't have any more. That's the only question I have.
Okay.
Make
Mr.
it
Mo,
effective today. Today's fine.
Mr. Moak and I are meeting with Dr. Muse at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon about the changes.
yeah,
So I'll have more information.
Okay. So you have a motion to approve?
Yeah, is today's date?
So it needs to change
October
item number
27th.
11 and the effective date. So there's two places in there, just to make it effective.
October 27th, 2016.
So you have a motion to approve the document with the effective date changed,
With the two corrections.
with the 2 corrections of the date to be starting today.
Second.
There's a motion and proper second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. It has been approved. Authorization to bid cutting grass and bleachers.
Just one, I guess I have several questions on this one right here on I know it's just an authorization to bid, Mr. President, I get that. But with the authorization of the bid process on the grass cutting and the bleachers, the persons that we have doing the grass cutting now, I'm concerned about them. Will they be eradicated? Is this job costing us too much now? What is the cost as opposed to, and I know you don't have the bids, I get it. But I wish I had something to show me that, okay, it's costing me $10 now and the bid will cost me $5, okay?
But that's something you could bring when they,
Right.
when we
You
go
know,
to
I
approve the
get-
bids, I think it'll be a great thing to see
Because
what the current cost is and who's doing that work.
Right, and I just don't want the persons that, and I have a skag, and I'm gonna tell you something, you'll wear out before the skag wears
That's
out.
right.
Okay?
Wait a minute,
So-
if you've got a skag, why are we paying someone else to cut this
I
grass?
know, right?
I think we solved the problem, forget it, we're not doing it. Jim's
So-
gonna take care of it right after the board meeting.
And I don't wanna talk out of turn since Bill is here, but the guys that are cutting grass, Bill and I have talked, and he will be able to use them more inside the maintenance, area. Right now, in the summer months, we are already pretty much using an outside resource to cut grass. We use, Staffing Solutions. So it's just formalizing that into a bid to give more people an opportunity to come in and say,
And a professional organization to do
yes,
it.
and we will actually
Instead
come
of
back
hourly
and ask
wage.
the board to allow us to do multiple, vendors to do it. So if, we don't have, if something's wrong with the grass or they have cutting to Bill's specification, then instead of us coming back asking you to, rescind the contract or whatever, then he could just move another vendor into that spot.
Well, to answer the first question, no, this isn't taking anybody's job.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
He's already determined that they can be used other places in, maintenance.
Correct.
Okay, but, and if you would, my second question, if you would bring what it cost us for the persons that are doing it now, please?
Yes, sir.
Once you bring in the bid, so we could see if it is advantageous for us as far as our taxpayers are concerned, because we don't want to just spend money to spend,
Also, I'd like to
since we
see
have enough of it.
If we're able to free these people up, what are we gonna be able to accomplish that we're not able to do now because these individuals are cutting grass? So I know we have a lot of issues we're concerned with maintenance and those kind of things, repair and maintenance that we're not able to get to because we're cutting grass instead of
I
working
have a
maintenance.
question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
The people who are cutting the grass now, are they private or are they part of the school district?
They're both. What we have is our guys do most of the cutting, but we use a Staffing Solutions to bring in hourly wage folks that may or may not be professional at that.
Well, then those who are presently cutting the grass need to bid against the ones who are bidding. That's why you have a bid process. If you want to protect them, they have the same opportunity to bid on the job as somebody else. So we're required by law to take the lowest and best bid. So the way we protect the ones that are doing it now is for them to bid as well.
So I'd like to make a motion with all of those that we asked for, Mr. President. With that, I'd like to make a motion that we accept F9, please.
We have a motion to accept F9 with the additional information request when we receive the bid proposals. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second to approve F9. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. F9 is approved. F10,
F10 is one question. Is this a want or is this a need?
This is a need.
Yep.
We've actually addressed this when we went through the budget process, but I wanted to bring it to you guys again. Technology is in desperate need of, a vehicle to, be able to move equipment out to the schools. One of the process that we changed to make sure we're properly securing and protecting district assets. They are shipped to the central office first. They're recorded and tagged before they're going out to their location. In order to facilitate that, Wade needs a vehicle to be able to do that. And as of late, he's been using one of the maintenance vehicles in Leavenville, kind of,
Stranded.
So is this a truck?
A van.
it's a utility van.
It says truck, 3/4 ton crew cab.
7
That's
passenger
maintenance.
van.
That's the maintenance one.
Okay.
So we got 2 of them?
It's actually 3.
Yep.
3 of them. Wow, I thought there was.
Okay.
I thought it was,
Crew cab, van, okay.
yeah, that's,
Cargo van, the half-ton one,
Yes, sir.
$20,000, okay.
okay. Thank you, Mr. President, for bringing
And
that
the
up. 'cause I thought it was
7-passenger
just
van,
one.
what's the purpose of,
The 7-passenger van, we've been requiring, since we went through the new travel process, we've been requiring our employees to first check in on the district vehicle, before we would approve paying any mileage. And, in seeing that a lot of people are asking or requesting the district vehicle, we've seen a reduction of mileage. But there have been several instances where a group of people are wanting to go, and we can't accommodate more than 3 people at a time using the district vehicle. So a 7-passenger van would allow a bigger group to go and only pay for the gas for that vehicle versus paying 2 cars, mileage.
would this also, can you transport students in this?
That was what I was gonna add too.
So small, the golf team or the cheerleader,
Yes, sir.
small groups instead of a full-size bus could use this?
And you don't have to have a commercial license to drive this one.
Okay. Jim, did you have any other questions?
I think you really answered it, and I appreciate you doing that for me, but on the others, it's for this Dodge Ram is for maintenance or whom?
Yes, the Dodge Ram is for maintenance.
But we bidding out stuff, so why would we need another truck for? If we decide to bid, out, let me rephrase that.
I'm still gonna have the same size crew as far as painters, carpenters, and a crew cab vehicle, like stick 4 guys in, transport them to a job rather than having 4 guys take 2 trucks now.
So how many crew, how many persons do you have now?
About 15.
And how many trucks do you have?
Probably 5. Some of them run, some of them don't.
Is this replacing a vehicle or is this an
Yes,
add?
it's replacing one. It's replacing a regular cab vehicle.
And you put,
That's
what,
like a 95 model that got 200-something thousand miles on it.
so you're gonna have the same number of trucks? Cause you're losing.
Do away with one of our vehicles and,
But the one you're getting away with is not a crew cab. This would be a crew cab. You should
right, it'll
be able to haul more in one vehicle, which you have not been able to in the past, is what you're saying. And Ms. Burke, this is in the budget?
And then the truck, how do you get rid of the truck that's, has 200,000 miles on it?
We'll surplus it.
You surplus?
Yeah, we would come to you, for approval to dispose of it.
And then, and when you say dispose of,
We would take it out of production and then go surplus
and then it'll go where?
to, go to the state surplus.
I'm sorry.
Want to get advertised for bid like we do
That's
buses, or is that
Yeah,
different?
I can
Yeah.
ask the state, to state and request, permission.
I think we ought to let,
That's what I'm asking.
I'd rather taxpayers of Warren County be able to have a chance to,
That's what I wanna make sure of.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
they don't want it, but
Okay, that's all I have, Mr. President.
thank you, sir. So do we have a motion to approve, F10?
I can make a motion that we approve F10.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second to approve F10, purchase of district vehicles. Our permission to purchase district vehicles. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Has been approved. Next item for discussion is job description, which is our technical
G,
supervisor position.
G, is that G?
Yeah, G, I'm sorry. It's
G9.
G6.
6?
Yeah.
G6, ABC.
Well, the new G6, I don't know if it was your G6.
Yes, sir.
This is
Oh,
for
yeah, okay.
the help desk supervisor.
On this, job description, do we have do we not, did we hire, or do we have a person that's already doing what this is asking? Are you just making a job description for him or her?
You just updated the job description for the
What?
person that's already doing the job.
I'd like to make a motion, we accept G6, please.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed? It's approved. So we are now down to, J, right? Which is,
Annual policy.
annual policy revisions, and Dr. Winters, is he here?
He's not, but, oh yeah, he is, he's in back.
There he is. Just a quick question about your policies. This is just what they've sent as recommended, have they marked up ours? Is that what I'm looking at here, is they've marked up ours and suggested what to change?
They marked up, yes,
Okay,
yes.
It's that service we pay MSBA every year to,
so the board members, please review that, and I'll need to sit till next board meeting.
correct?
For our review, we have no items for executive session. Do you?
Possibly one, yes.
All right, we have one item possibly for executive session. We're going to entertain a motion to go into closed session to determine the agenda for executive session. Do we have a motion?
Be quick.
I'd like to make a motion.
All right, we have a motion to go into closed session to determine the agenda for executive session. All those in
Second.
favor? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in closed
I
session.
don't want to wait. I can
This guy.